Welcome everyone to the PJ's Cast. I am your host Pierce, alongside of my good pal Dylan. For the first time in a while, we're recording during a Hawks game, so I guess we'll see how that goes. They're playing the Wild right now at 0-0. See if they can actually beat them because that hasn't happened too often since COVID. But we'll be able to talk about the Blackhawks, some other stuff around the NHL. Where do you want to start off on today's show?
Um, I guess we could start with the Hawks. I'm pretty okay with starting wherever. I figured you wanted to lead off somewhere because I know we didn't get to cover everything on last show. So
Yeah, we'll talk more about the team, obviously, but probably the biggest news is that they did sign Sasha Bovert to ALC, but he's working out some visa issues right now. So I don't even know if he'll be ready to play tomorrow because they play back to back and they play Colorado tomorrow in Chicago. But would be nice if he's ready by then. Also, they're going to be going over to Germany next year, playing Ottawa. What do you think about that? That just seems like such a weird matchup, but also it's going to be cool being able to see this young team go to Germany and Connor Bedard being able to play somewhere else that isn't North America.
yeah, it's pretty easy to market the Hawks when you have a guy like Bedard. Also, Lev Shinov just scored. Um,
Nice.
but yeah,
Good
it's
starts.
makes sense to get Stutzel out there. You would have thought they might have gotten like a Detroit or someone as the other team, but
That would have been good, Detroit and Ottawa, but not that I'm complaining about the Hawks being there, but that would have been a good matchup too.
yeah, but at the same time, you want to make sure other countries get to see elite talent. The NHL is making a big effort of doing that, obviously, with World Cup of Hockey having games in Prague in a couple years and whatnot. And
And in the
I
new
think that's
country of Alberta in 2 years.
the new
Sorry to
country.
interrupt. I had to
Get
make that joke.
excited. But yeah, I just think I think it's a great opportunity to market the product. The Hawks should be in a spot where they're young and fast. Ottawa should be in a spot where, who knows
They'll
at
be
this point? I
competitive.
feel like
They are a team.
changes. They are a team. I feel like the winds change every week with that team, but yeah, I think it should be a great matchup. It's definitely going to draw. Hawks fans will definitely travel overseas, and it
Hawks fans are everywhere. Yeah,
should be
they'll
a
be
fun marketing
there.
experience. Good opportunity for a young team to bond. I always remember that 2010 team. They had that trip to Helsinki to start the year. So
Yeah.
stuff like that really brings the team together. I know this one's a little deeper into the season. I think it's in December, but yeah, should be a fun time for the team. I kind of like it being a little more in the season than at the beginning because I know the one year, like, it can work both ways for you. I just feel like the one year where the Hawks had to go out there and I think they like won 2-1 against Reichel's team and then lost to the Flyers. It was a weird start to the year
Oh
because they
yeah,
didn't
the
play for
beginning
a
of
week.
2019-20 season. I remember that because I said Alex Nylander would score the first Hawks goal of the season. He did. So, but yeah, well, they lost
Yes, you
four to
did. I
three.
remember that. But but yeah, like it's always a fun time and the games are always great. I think they're gonna do 2 games out there, so should be a good time. And in terms of Boisvert, it's a guy who's had a pretty crazy week to say the least. Gets scratched for being, from what I read, late to a weight training meeting, and it kind of got massively blown out of proportion by
Yeah.
everyone.
What social
Online
media would never do that,
social media
especially
loves to
Hawks
use
fans.
the vague posting king meme, and that's kind of how I felt just every time something was spoken about
I
Boisvert.
require context.
Yeah, and then he gets back in the lineup the next night. BU's out, and from I feel like any other team's perspective, they'd probably say, "Why are you signing this guy?" If you look at it on paper, like he should probably stay another year at Boston. In reality, I think the Blackhawks want to control his development, and he's probably going to get 4 or 5 games up here this year, and then he's going to get a substantial role in Rockford next year, and I think that's what's going to benefit him most. Hawks can be very hands on with his development there, and you know, maybe he doesn't have the upside that you might have thought offensively, but this is a guy that if he realizes the tools he has, he can be a player in the NHL just with his size and his tenacity and, the fact that he's a big center that can win draws and, occasionally drop the gloves. Like that's something that will keep you in the league a long time, especially on a team like this. So, I'm very curious to see how his development goes. I'd like to see him get in the lineup. I think I was texting you, like maybe put him with like Donato and Bertuzzi, just a full crash and bang line, kind of see what happens there.
Yeah.
or maybe just put him with like Lardis and Slaggert. I don't know. I don't know how they're going to deploy him once he gets into the lineup, but that's another guy who's probably going to have to compete for a job out of camp. His job's not going to be secure whatsoever, and he's going to have to earn it. So, this time last year, I wouldn't have expected Ryan Green to have a spot coming out of BU on the Hawks roster, and very clearly he has earned a spot in that top 9 especially over the last 2 months or so. So, yeah, it should be exciting to see what comes out of that. And I think everyone's kind of eagerly waiting for another prospect to sign, potentially with Anton Frondell, as he's currently in the playoffs right now with Djurgården. But
They lost today, I saw.
yeah, they
So
lost,
now
and
it's
it
going to
sounds.
game 3.
Yep. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. I know, yeah, we've mentioned on this pod, we're very eager to see him come over, and it should be very interesting when that happens, because I think it's going to happen within the month, or not within the month, but at least before the end of the year, we're going to get a game, hopefully. But it's exciting. It's very exciting, and I think we're just at the tail end of the year right now. The Hawks are playing competitive hockey, minus the Vegas game. I thought they
Mm.
put up a really good effort against Minnesota on Tuesday, and from what I was watching before we started recording, they look pretty good tonight, but they don't have Kaprizov tonight, so with a grain of salt. But I mean,
Cares
I think we
freaking
talked
beat them for once.
exactly, and you and I talk about it like there's less games where they're just getting punched in the mouth, which is a sign of growth. And, one of the main talking points we wanted to talk about was that they've matched their point total from last year with 15 games to go. And I think that speaks volumes as to how they've played this year. And, I feel like if they have this point total in another year, I think everyone's a little more okay with it. But just because this year is so condensed and it's such a league of parity this year, I mean, look at the East, look at the Pacific, everything's so tight that even with that improvement, they're still towards the bottom, which at the end of the day is probably going to benefit them, for being honest. Every other team
I
wants
know
to get
Kyle
on a little bit.
Davidson knows that.
Yeah, Kyle Davidson loves being in the draft lottery. Get excited. But yeah, I mean, they're in a good spot. They're in a good spot. Lucas Reichel just scored for the Bruins. Holy shit. Oh my God.
I wanted to
That was the
bring that
most
up.
predictable thing ever. That was the most predictable thing ever.
Who are they
People,
playing?
Blackhawks reporters really had the nerve to be like, oh, he's not practicing in Providence. He probably got cut. Idiots. Fucking idiots. Jesus. And
And
did you hear him
apparently,
call? Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, are you gonna bring up the video that the Bruins Twitter put out about saying Lucas Reichel can score goals when he's next to Connor Bedard, and then you look at his goal total, and he hasn't gotten past like 10 goals since I think 22-23 when he was with Rockford.
Oh, I was just gonna say how he said Vancouver kept playing me at center, but I'm a winger. He had some very intriguing quotes, to
Oh,
say
I
the
did not see
least.
that.
Yeah, I saw that quote as well. Yeah, so I just think it could be a very, that's a great spot for Reichel to be in. Not to change it to that, but to say that he scored goals with Bedard is asinine because you never play with him. So,
Nope.
like, for some people to do their homework, but that's okay. For like the 2 weeks that Sharks fans thought Kurashev was good, that was fun. Like, we can always do this. There was a time when we got dunked on because Adam Gaudette was good. Like, everyone has their time in the spotlight.
That's maybe a point I wanted to bring up. Do you think the NHL schedule makers had this prepared back in October and they were watching that game when the Hawks were playing the Blues and Reichel got like 4 points and they're like, oh, you know what? What do we do? Chicago and Ottawa, two great young German players. And then he got traded and they're like, oh.
Oh. Well, if you're planning your whole thing behind Lucas Reichel, I think there's some problems, but that's neither here
Yeah.
nor there. Yeah, I mean, it's really hard to argue wanting to put Connor Bedard on a big stage. I don't think that's something that is going to get argued. And it's funny when that got announced that the Hawks were going to have some sort of game like that, because everyone was like, oh my God, they're going to get a Winter Classic. This is so dumb. But, and also get ready for that, because that's coming probably. Like, there's not a doubt in my mind they're going to have one against San Jose in the next 5 years. Or Colorado or Utah. Probably Utah, for keeping it a buck. It's probably going to be
Utah would
Utah
be fun.
at the Ute Stadium. At the Utes. Yeah.
So would
We'll
San
see.
Jose too.
Yeah, I don't know where San Jose's would be. I guess they have done it in Cali before. So they could do it at Dodger Stadium. They could do it at
Yeah.
Yeah, where everyone loves to go. Such a commodity at Dodger Stadium. What a hellhole. Anyways, yeah,
So
like
you
the Hawks are at a point in the year where I'm just like, yeah, we'll just watch Bedard pick up points. Nazar's on a massive heater. I think Lev Shinov's played a very good stretch of hockey here the last 15 games or so. But I just, if I'm being honest, there's not much to talk about.
no, it's more so what the Hawks are gonna do this offseason. I saw Frank Cervelli tweet out that the draft lottery is gonna be on May 5th. And I know last podcast we talked about, well, let's give the kids a chance next year. But the more and more I think about it, you gotta take a swing this offseason. All right, the test, you got to get your franchise player or a star winger to play with. You know when the studying date starts, that's May 5th, and then you know when the test is, it's on June 26th. You got to figure out who your winger is for Connor Bedard. And again, it might be Anton Frendel, could be Roman Kanserov, but to me, you should be preparing that. It's so hard for me to say both Frondell and Kantarov are going to be in the AHL, but honestly, I think you got to plan like neither of them are going to make it. Um, yeah, if Matthew Knies is available, and we saw so many teams checked on him, including the Hawks at the trade deadline, you have what a lot of teams don't have, and that's a plethora of right-handed defensemen. The Hawks want to make a trade for Matthew Knies, they can, and you will have to live with the fact that they're probably gonna have to part with one of a Lev Shunov, a Rinzel, or a Crevier. And now I know it might be tough to part with Lev Shunov, a second overall pick for a player like Matthew Knies. Maybe you go Rinzel or Crevier, and maybe you have to add more in a draft pick. But uh, again, I'm acting as if I think the Hawks are going to draft another defenseman, probably another right-handed defenseman. If listen, if they get Stenberg or McKenna, like if they're picking top two and they know they want to go forward, fine. Then I'm fine with them. They don't have to make a splash. But if you know on the test that you gotta pick another defenseman, then you gotta have a plan to get a forward by trade. Like, listen, I would love Jason Robertson, but I just don't see that being realistic, especially within the division. I think Dallas will find a way to keep him aboard, but yeah, Matthew Knies is available, which to me seems more likely. I think he'll be easier to pry away from Toronto. And shit, you were sending me text earlier about Brady Kachuk having attitude issues with the Senators. Maybe that's also another target available. But yeah, over the years, I've been a proponent. Oh, let's take chances on guys like Trevor Zegras. I even think like Capo Caco was available earlier this year. Igor Chinikov got traded. At this point, they got enough lottery tickets. I think the reason why I wanted that before is because it felt like they had no lottery tickets. It felt like it was just Connor Bedard, but now they have a bunch of lottery tickets. Go get a legit winger, please, for the love of God. Like, let's be serious for once, and like let's make this team actually competitive. Because yeah, they could go like Frondell and Kanzarov, they could all work out next year. But imagine you have Matthew Knies or whoever else that. Wow, you might have two scoring lines for once. Because yeah, it's just been Bedard. I just wanted to see them be better. Enough of me rambling on.
Yeah, I'm just such a pessimist with them making a move. I'm over it at this point. I'll believe it when I see it. I'm not buying anything that this because one, let's be completely frank, this GM core doesn't show their cards unless they're drafting a right-handed defenseman. Like this front office does not show their hand whatsoever. So anyone saying that they're sniffing around stuff like that doesn't come out till after they fucked up. So like I do believe there's some like truth to the nice stuff, but like if I had like I can count on my whole hand the amount of times I've heard a what if story with a top six forward in Kyle Davidson. Like I don't care anymore. I really don't. Like I really don't. Shit or get off the fucking pot. Like I told you I'm okay with them just running the kids because then 2027 you're either getting fired or you have to make a decision. Like that's just what it's going to come down to. So if he wants it to come down to that, we can. We really can. It's perfectly fine. It's perfectly fine. You can force your hand in 2027 so hard because I promise you no one's going to put up with that shit if the kids come over and they're not producing. Promise you no one's going to put up with that in year 4. when Bedard's on his second contract. That's the real reality. He's on his second contract. You have no more fucking around. But whatever. Whatever. It's fine. Like you said, you have all the assets in the world. Like, yeah, oh no, you might not have your first this year. That means you have 3 next year. Like, fucking go trade one of them. Go trade your own. Bet on yourself. Don't bet on yourself. Trade the Edmonton one. Bet on that. That's more funny. But no, it's just dumb. It's just dumb. And I won't buy into it. I just won't. I won't. Because they won't do it. Because they want to see what these guys turn into. Which, cool. You could bet on yourself all you want. But at the end of the day, you're still third last in the league. So, like we said, you had a great point increase. Any other year, it probably looks better than it does on paper. Standard is the standard. The schedule is the schedule. The standings are the standings. And you are third last in the NHL. And let's be honest, your division keeps getting better and you're not. So either get on board with the arms race or get left at the train station. And right now, they're just waving at the train right now. They're cool with it. They're cool with waiting a lap. And that's fine. Like, I'm just used to it at this point. I really don't care. There's nothing we can do about it. So when we see all these rumors,
can't do anything about it.
Yeah, can't do anything about it. So I just don't buy into rumors. Don't mean to go on a huge tirade to say don't buy into rumors, but just don't. I think I made it very clear on this show for the last year. I'm just so out on insiders being like, I wonder. And that's all Freach does. So I'll take it with a grain of salt, like I always do.
Yeah, I get that because I often think that too. Like, I would love them to make a move, but there's been
I'd love
4
Matthew
past.
Like, you'd be so good. Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
But we've had 4 past off seasons to prove otherwise, and like every off season that we've had Bedard, we want this team to get better because you just have such a special talent, and you're just pissing into the win right now. And like at one point, last podcast we talked about what Jake Gensel when they tried to get him, it was probably a matter of, oh, I get to go to Florida where there's no taxes and I get to go play with a team that could potentially win another Stanley Cup, as opposed to Chicago where making probably the same amount of money, probably paying more taxes and being on a bottom feeder. And like, yeah, I get to play Connor Bedard. Oh, I get to go play with Braden Point and Nikita Kucherov and whoever else in Tampa Bay. And I also wonder, like, I don't want to go back into this, but like, makes you wonder, like, what I think Columbus just said no to that trade with them getting Demidov. Like, you just wonder, like,
I think Columbus looks so dumb in hindsight on that. Like, if we're being so honest, they could have had the 4. What would it have been? It would have been pick 3 last year, and then what else would it have been? Because they were trading.
I don't remember.
I don't know. What? All I know is that they were getting the 2025 first unprotected, and the fact that they didn't want that is moronic from that team. From that Blackhawk team, you were getting an unprotected first.
Dude, you could have got first overall. They're
Dude, you're an idiot. Like, you're an idiot. That's the Matthew Schaefer draft, and you literally said, I don't want a top 3 pick. I'm good. Like, imagine adding Matthew Schaefer to that decor right now.
With Rinsky.
But no, like, and I'm the biggest Caden Lindstrom truther, but reality's reality. You took Caden Lindstrom over Demidov, and he's got a back problem, and you don't have an extra first-round pick to show for it now. Tough look. At least you're good now. Well, we can talk about Columbus, actually. We can change the topic because they're white fucking hot, so it doesn't matter. But point still stands. Like, some of these what ifs, it's just like some people just gotta fucking do it. And like this has gone back since the first Hagel trade rumor. Like, some of these teams just gotta nut up and shut up. Like, and honestly, that's why I kind of give Bill Guerin credit somewhat, because at least he has the balls to be like, yeah, we'll just go make the move. We'll just go make the move. Like, Vegas at the end of the day just says we'll go make the move. Like, Colorado just said, like, Dallas just said we'll find a way to make Mikko Rantanen work. You know what I mean? Like,
again, why is it the same 5 teams? Like,
because they're the only teams that try.
Mm-hmm.
They're the only teams that fucking try. They're the only teams that have an actual competent front office, and they're the only front offices that have an ownership group that actually wants to win consistently and isn't just okay with sold out ticket stands and the jersey sales and all this other bullshit. That's literally what it is. Those are 5 ownership groups that want to win every single fucking year. Colorado, promise you they want to win every year. It's the same guy who runs the Rams.
Yep.
Freaking Vegas always wants to win. Promise you Jim Nill and his ownership group have wanted to win since the year the owner came out and bashed Tyler Sagan and Jamie Benn in the media. Like
Fucking
this, like people forget this shit. Like
those were the pre-COVID times. It was a while ago, yeah, but we ain't forget.
league.
I don't
It's
think
just a
they
different.
forget.
There's 2 different leagues. Honestly, there's just 2 different leagues out there. Like the whole joke. Oh, there's a whole other world out there. That's how I feel when I talk about other NHL teams sometimes. And like, there's 2 sides of that spectrum. Obviously, there's like the fucking Vancouver Canucks, but then there's what the Vegas Golden Knights are doing, and there's what the Dallas Stars are doing, and there's what all these other teams that have found what to do with their young talent. Hell, I'll even throw San Jose into that because at least Mike Greer has realized, holy fucking shit, I have a superstar. We should probably start putting some people around it. Whatever, man. Whatever. We'll just keep watching the Ferrari in the trailer park and have to pretend like everything's okay. Like, I'm literally watching Bedard go 1-on-4 tonight against Minnesota 4 times and win. 4 times. He's going 1-on-4 against Brock Faber and Jonas Brodin and just getting through them like it's nothing. And he watches that every night and just goes, we can wait another year with Andre Burakovsky, guys. We're good. Like, we make the joke all the time. It's the Moneyball joke. It's Hatterberg at first. Like, they got Pena at first right now. This is such a fucking joke of a franchise. Whatever, though. Whatever. I'm just going to call it an ethical tank to fucking calm my delusions and anger. God, joke of a team. Holy smokes. They're gonna get like, and here's the worst part. I'm crashing out right now about him, but like, he's gonna get fucking bailed out and getting McKenna or Stenberg. Like, we know this, right? Like, he's getting bailed out. Like, out of all the teams that is going to get bailed out, Bettman's going to make sure that happens because he realizes that the GM's a moron and won't actually go get someone.
Yeah, they might get gifted with a open book quiz, but yeah, as far as I'm concerned,
fucking put the answers down.
As far as I'm concerned, like Stenberg and McKenna, and yeah, I'd be fine with drafting Veerhoff or Reed, but and shit, like if this GM had any balls, Viggo Bjork top 3, but that's not gonna happen. Like, if you're picking outside, I would even say the top 3. I have no interest in making
I don't care. You need to hire him forward.
Yeah. I have no interest in watching another draft pick. And yeah, they might be in the NHL in a year or 2, but again, Connor Bedard is a superstar. Did fuck all with his first contract, and like I didn't expect them to be a good team because you got them right at the beginning of the rebuild, and like with the Blackhawks 20 years ago, you got Taves and Kane right at the end when guys like Duncan Keith and Brent Seabrook were developing, but then you help supplement and aid them by getting guys like Brian Campbell, Marian Hossa, and Marty Havlat. Before that, you made your trade for Patrick Sharp, and yeah, I'm excited for Anton Friendel. Guy was a 20 goal scorer in the SHL alongside of some Hall of Famers like Marcus Naslund and Daniel Sedin as the only guys at that age to do that and that difficult of lead. Roman Kanserov broke a record for I think U22 scoring in the KHL. It was a 35 goal score. I just don't think that you should be like putting all your eggs into one basket with that. And again, as much as I think they're going to come over and help out, it's not going to happen right away. It's so up and down. Look at what Frank Nazar has gone through this year. Had a great start to the season, then he got injured, and then everyone's calling him a bust and saying he's not worth that contract, which is so stupid, by the way. Yeah, which is so stupid, by the way, because they were never paying him to be a $6 million player this year. Like, that was always going to be the future. And that contract doesn't kick until next year. And now he's still on pace for 55 points despite the injuries and the inconsistencies. I'm like, we got special players here. Their defense is pretty much rounded into shape as well. Like we know who Jeff Blashill likes. That's Vlasic, Crevier, Kaiser, and Lev Shunov has been getting his minutes. Like the young guys are getting their time. We can complain about coaches. I think just in general across the NHL or don't play their young players, and there's always going to be blind spots. Like I wish Nick Lars got more ice time, but Blashill is playing the guys and they are getting the responsibility of leading ice time and being just leaders in general. Yeah, like it's so
Like,
frustrating to me
there's a lot
that
of
we're
good
going.
things going on.
Mhm.
I'm just gonna make the point. The reason we're getting so frustrated, the reason we're being so adamant about this, is because it's quite literally one thing you need to do. It is quite literally one thing you need to do, and it makes this entire fucking roster look different overnight. You get another high-end forward. No matter what, this team looks different overnight. It's just a fact. It's just a fact. You put Matthew Knies on that team, it looks completely different. It's just a fact. Like you put a Jason Robertson on that team, everyone slots down a peg. It looks completely different.
I mean, Jason Robertson on a whole other
It's
level,
just a
but
point.
yeah,
The
yeah.
point is, you put a fucking actual top six forward in the top six. That's not 30-year-old Andre Burakovsky. That's clearly injured. The team operates differently. Everyone has a specific role. And the role they're missing right now is Goose to Maverick. And until they get that, this team is not going to win shit. And we always talk about, oh, the blown third period leads. Oh, they keep losing in overtime here. Oh, they keep losing in overtime there. You know what helps winning those close games?
Having a good
Having a
team.
high-end fucking forward. You know what always helped
Yeah.
the Hawks, like when they were down 3-2 or tied 2-2? Having fucking Taves and Kane and Hossa and Sharp. Not just throw Kane out there 12 times. That worked so good for them in 2021. Worked so good for them. Ran him into the ground to the point to where he needed hip surgery 2 years later. Like, whatever, man. Whatever. It's not rocket science. I think that's why I'm getting so frustrated. It really is not rocket science. And I get it. It takes two to tango in a trade. I'm not going to pretend like I'm not oblivious to that. But at the same time, you have so much fucking capital. Just overpay. I don't care. I don't think any of the fan base is going to care if you overpay. As long as it is not like, as long as I better not be seeing Frondell, Renzel in a first for anything. If I see something like that, yes, that's an overpay. We've lost
the plot.
whatever.
Yeah.
But like, if you trade 2 first-round picks, I'm not going to give a shit. I'm just not.
I don't think anyone is. No one cares
like
about the
picks,
first round
I don't
picks
think
right
anyone
now,
is
unless
going
it's
to care
Stenberg or
if you
McKenna.
overpay. Thank you.
Yeah.
And if you have to fucking pay an extra prospect, I really don't think anyone is going to care if they lose a Merrick Van Acker or Vaclav Nestor still to ensure that this team has a forward for the next 6 years with a pulse in the top 6. Like, whatever, man. It's not fucking rocket science. It's not fucking rocket science. Like, we talked about this. You trade everyone but 3 players. That's all you got to do. Anyone but that is available. And if you don't think anyone but that is available, you're not looking at this team properly. Because you can't look at it. You can't look at everything like they're going to, like, this is quite literally the NHL franchise video game. Not everyone is going to hit their ceiling. Not everyone is going to be high top 4. Not everyone is going to be what you think they are. You have to plan accordingly. And like we said, he has his way of planning. He has as many shots in the fucking, he's got it. His clip is fully loaded.
Bullets in the chamber.
Thank you. He has unlimited bullets in the chamber. But you know what helps sometimes? When you got a couple FMJ bullets in there. You know what I mean? Got a couple of, Kevlar breaking bullets. It also helps when, actually have a rocket launcher sometimes. That kind of helps knocking someone down every now and then. And you have one. You know what's crazy? You can get 2, and it's not that hard. It's not that fucking hard. And I'll even go crazier. Just go give Alex Tuck 10 mil. I really don't give a shit at this point. Like, you can afford to do something that dumb. That's the thing. They can't afford that. Most teams can't. You can. Start acting like it. Because I'm not going to sit here and pretend like they're going to fucking evaporate 35 million cap overnight with the young players. That's not going to fucking happen. Even if he locks all of them up to 8-year deals, that is not going to happen. Plain and simple. So stop planning like you don't have any money because you have so much fucking money. I'm done.
Yeah, it's if you plan or like if you fail to plan, you plan to fail or whatever that saying is. And yeah, like I said, I like as much as I would love Frundell and Kantarov to jump into the top six, like just even being conservative, like if you get 30 goals and like 70-ish points out of them, you're tickled pink. But
You're literally sniffing around a wild card spot. That's why if you get another forward, you're really in a wild card spot. But I digress. You're right. And we're asking for the bare minimum. Not asking for them to both roll into the league and be Artemi Panarin rookie year. You know what I mean? Like, we're
would be
reasonable.
nice,
Like,
but I would
dead
love to
ass.
marry Lord and Dua Lipa. Like we can't always get what we
Like,
want.
I think it would be such a win if they did what, like we're expecting that. But if they did what DeBrincat and Schmaltz did in 17-18, holy shit, that's a win. Holy shit, that's a win. They both have
Can't believe we
50-point
yearned
years.
for 17, 18, but here we are.
No, like I'm not yearning for that. I'm yearning for
Yeah,
what
I
those
know, I
two
know, I
young
know.
players did.
Yeah.
But you add two 50-point players to this team, it changes the dynamic of the roster. But if you add another 75-point player, that really fucking changes the dynamic of the roster. And Matthew Knies could really do that. So, like you said, if you're not picking one or two, you should probably start making some calls. Because I do not want to see a right-handed defenseman with any pick this year. I just
And if
don't.
you do, then you need to trade one immediately
ASAP.
for a forward. Yeah, like you need to plan, you need to study for the test. The test is getting a good winger for your franchise player. And listen, like we as fans will complain. There are fans that are to complain more than we are about the lack of help that
Hawks
Connor
get off
Bedard has
easy with
gotten.
those.
Like, yeah, exactly. I mean, we're gonna watch the games no matter what. What do the people with season tickets think about this? Like the only way that it's gonna change is if the season ticket holders stop buying tickets and they gotta make money. But like with Connor Bedard, it seems like it's foolproof. People are gonna go to the game no matter what. Um,
People went
I
to
was
the
gonna make
game
a
when
point.
no one was on the team. Like
Yep.
it's just the unfortunate reality. It's going to take a lot for them to get back to where they were in the Bill Warts years. Like you really like it's going to literally have to take them not getting on TV ever again, which they almost did. Funny enough, they almost fucking did.
I mean, they are kind of are right now with
What a
what I've heard
genius!
about CHSA
Oh,
or whatever
dude,
it is, CHSN.
CHN is awesome, but I live in Florida, so I can watch it. Old Joe Schmo in Naperville can't, which is the problem.
uh,
But yeah, like CSHN is actually like probably the best like
Dude,
solo
Rick
network.
Ball and Darren Pang are so awesome. Like living in
Dude, they
Canada,
have 4K quality games. Like you can watch the games in 4K for your local team. Like the only team that has that is like the Maple Leafs. And like Canadian like, like the Habs and Canadian market teams. Like the Lightning don't get that here. The Panthers don't get that. Like they have a very high quality broadcast, which is good because for a long time their NBCSN crew was really good. Their NBC Sports Chicago crew was really good. So the CHSN crew has adjusted nicely. But yeah, like there's a couple positives. I'd probably get Frank Saravalli off the program, but that's neither here nor there.
yeah.
We got our own insider. The one that just fucking doesn't announce trade conditions for a year and then gets mad
So he
when
can
people
launch
tell him that
his
he's
website.
whatever.
I mean,
Anyways,
that's just part of NHL insiders as a whole. But
that's a
to
lie.
to get back to my point about I don't think you should ever listen to fans. I mean, there's a reason we're called fans, fanatics. We ride the ups and downs, though it's mostly been downs. You owe it solely to number 98, Connor Bedard, to get him some help. Like when I saw that interview of him say, like, I think he was on vacation with Colton Dock and Ryan Green while he was not playing at the Olympics. LOL. Doug Armstrong, rest in piss, bozo. We'll get in that later.
Clown.
But you owe it solely to number 98 to get him some help. And like what have I said millions of times over the past few years? What are the point of the money in the draft picks if you're not going to do anything with them? This is the whole point of the rebuild is just get so many bullets in the chamber. And in previous years, I'm of course I always want this team to improve. You want this team to improve. We want help for Connor Bedard, and like especially this year, you're going on your fifth draft. They've had what 11 first round picks, and as far as I'm concerned, they could trade their top five pick this year for an elite forward, and they could probably use a bunch of seconds to get into the first round anyways. I am not worried about that. Like, you just got to get this guy some kind of help, and it's there. There's always going to be talent available. You just got to be, and the big thing is you got to be willing to say, okay, I like this guy, but he's not Matthew Knies. And again, that's what separates the elite teams from. I don't even put Chicago in this because they just suck. But I think this was what separates elite teams from mid teams is that GMs can honestly say, okay, I like this guy. I did draft him. Like you said earlier, Bill Guavin. I like drafted Z Boyum, drafted Marco Rossi. Um, but they're not Quinn Hughes. I wish Kyle Davidson started doing that. There's so much where, like, I don't think you're going to be able to just trade straight up draft picks for players, but I remember last year just seeing that JJ Paterka trade, how Buffalo got Michael Kessering and Josh Dome back, and I was like, couldn't the Blackhawks have traded draft picks for it? It's like, no, teams want NHL players. You have NHL players you can trade now. Are you telling me Toronto wouldn't want a Louis Crevier? Are you telling me they wouldn't want maybe an Oliver Moore player? Like, and we say this too, you never give up your top end prospect in a trade like that. But if you
You,
give Toronto a trade package of like Crevier and more shit, maybe Brad Trevangelian wants big guys and he wants Sasha Boisvert instead. Maybe he gets that and you get a first round pick. Oh no, you still have first round picks next year. You still have all these seconds. You still have a bunch of prospects in your pool. As far as I'm concerned, trade Nestrasol, trade Van Acker. Like, they've had enough drafts to accumulate talent. And I think in particular this year, like you could definitely say in previous years they do not. This year they do, and there's no excuse.
Here's the reality. At the end of the day, the top prospect never gets traded. The second best prospect never gets traded. Unless you are a
Sometimes a third best prospect never does. Like, it's
unless you're a bona fide contender, it never happens. Or unless the prospects like Cutter Gauthier or David Juracek, where they just don't know where they want to go. Or in Cutter Gauthier's case, like, Chuck Fletcher gets fired 2 days before you sign your contract. Like,
underratedly was going through right now is Flyers fans. Like we say every podcast, we go through kind of the 5 stages, and it's like, and we talk about other teams, it could be so much worse.
Yeah, at least we have a goalie and a franchise center. Yeah. 2 things that they don't have. But like you said, there's just so many teams that have it worse. But it's neither here nor there. But at the same time, what I was like, when you like the first best prospect doesn't get traded, second best prospect doesn't get traded. Like that, I just don't think there's a world where, a Frondell is getting traded or a Lev Shanov's getting traded. I see a world where Renzel gets traded. It would have to be Jason Robertson for me to be comfortable with Roman Cancel.
Oh, I was gonna say, if it's Jason Robertson, I drive Frondell and like Renzel to the airport. Yeah, like
I get it. You get all 3.
It's not. I would love both, but it's Jason Robertson, man. Like,
dude, I'm just telling you, Jack Eichel didn't even get a top prospect. Like, this is this is the fucking reality we live in. Like, I don't know how many. Like, I'm not trying to sound crazy, but like, I bang this drum every fucking time there's a big trade. You're never getting the top prospect. It never fucking happens. These guys are really not that, like, I'm not trying to like bash every GM in the NHL, but these guys aren't that fucking good at their jobs. You're not getting the best prospect most of the time. It's just the reality of the situation. Like, no one's getting Frondell. I don't see a fucking world where anyone gets him or Lev Shanov. At least for the next 3 years. Like, that's just how it works. Like, when was the last time an actual top prospect got traded without forcing his way out? Like, I'm so serious.
To
Because, like,
say something that
even
I
Seth
can't think of one
Jones,
immediately.
Kirby Doc didn't get traded. That was the top prospect. It was Boquist. Like, I don't know the last time a top prospect got traded. Genuinely. Maybe Nick Suzuki. Like, that's
I
how
was
long
gonna
ago you
say
got to go.
Nick
And Nick Suzuki
Suzuki.
wasn't even the top prospect at the time.
No,
It was
no,
Brandstrom. Actually, it
it
might
was
have been
Cody
Cody fucking
Glass.
Glass.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly. My point stands. Like, it just does. You know what? Maybe Dylan Strome. Like, you got to go that fucking far back. But that's not even the top prospect. Like,
No,
fuck. It just doesn't happen. It just doesn't happen. So I'm just not going to entertain that. So, like, when you start hearing Leaf fans talk about returns for Matthew Knies, I'm just going to start laughing because we did the same thing with Alex DeBrincat. And when the day of the draft comes and you don't have a first round pick, it's going to start eating at you.
and your rival team or team that's fucked you over so many times is picking 6th or 7th overall. LOL. Yeah, they they feel, I said this last podcast, they feel like a combination of the 17-18 Blackhawks and 21-22 Blackhawks. The worst two Blackhawks teams, I think. At least vibes wise going into that
But
draft.
I'm just speaking, I'm shooting from the hip here. Like, we've talked all that time. Oh, if DeBrincat's getting traded, we're getting this, and that. Like, if you're gonna
We're
trade
getting
your top
Ridley
guy,
Grigg. Yeah.
dude, at the end of the
No.
day, these guys might just get traded so they can get on the draft board that day. Isn't the draft in Toronto too?
No, it's in
Where
Buffalo.
is the draft? It's in
But
Buffalo.
it's
Close
Buffalo.
enough. Close enough.
Toronto point 2.0.
Yeah, exactly. Like, hop, skip, and a jump. That's close enough for them to be like, fuck, there's like 5,000 Leaf fans here.
There'll be Leafs fans there. Yeah.
But, like, I just think there's going to be a world where Brad Treliving is going to have his hands really, really, really fucking tied. And the only guy with trade on not trade protection is Matthew Knies. And Kyle Davidson, for the first time in his whole career, is going to have all the cards in a trade where you're getting the player. Don't be afraid to take advantage. And I know we talked about it. He's a deal maker. He likes to make sure every trade's fair. Fuck that shit. If he actually wants that for a prospect and a first, you fucking do it. If he wants 2 firsts, you fucking do it. I really don't care at this point. But if he starts asking for any of the top stuff on the top shelf, no. We have all the cards here. Fuck you. Like, you don't get that top bourbon. You can't afford that right now. You're gonna get you're not getting that top shelf vodka. You can go get the Tito's for now. Like, you're not getting the Grey Goose. Fuck you. So yeah, that's just my thought process, Pierce. Like, I just don't think, even for Jason Robertson, I don't think a top prospect's getting traded in that. Oh, here we go. Mikko Rantanen didn't get a top prospect. Unless you count Logan Stankoven, but I'd probably say Harley was
Logan Stankoven, but he's not a top prospect.
Exactly. Like,
that's
just the point I'm trying to make.
Dallas trading like Wyatt Johnston. Now that would have been interesting, but like that's not a prospect. That's just an established NHL player. And even then, those type of players, yeah. Before we keep, spinning our tires in the mud. And like, yes, they are third last in the NHL, and I think they desperately, like, it would help so much. It would solve a lot of problems easily if they got Stenberg or McKenna. But then, to me, there's the other way around of it. If Bedard and Nazar aren't injured, team is probably closer to San Jose than they are at the bottom. But then that goes back to my point: shoulda, woulda, coulda. Build a freaking better team, man. Sometimes it's so hard to like do the podcast and evaluate this team. It's like, how do we fairly evaluate when this GM has not tried at all to make a good team? I think he's done a great job of loading up the prospect pool, but he's yet to do the most important part, and that's build a competitive team. Again, let's be serious. Let's be adults for once. You are the Chicago Blackhawks. This is your 5th draft coming up. You have a franchise player. You have a great young talent behind him with Frank Nazar. You have a bunch of help on the way. You have your top 4 pretty much set in place. Like, get them some help. You have a goalie. Like, how many people, like, the Edmonton Oilers would love a Spencer night right now? How many people would love to have, like, Did you see the? I sent you that clip of Jeff Blashill talking about how he used the defenseman against Minnesota, and Sharks fans were like, "This is how a coach should talk about their players," and they were complaining about Ryan Warsofsky. I bet this guy would say Sharks would love to have the defensive depth that the Blackhawks do. Like, we're not like
Yeah,
the
but the
Chud
Blackhawks were
Hawks.
killed for Will Smith. Like this is how it
Yeah,
goes. Like
yeah.
can't like
Like
not
we're
you
not.
can't have everything sometimes, which sucks.
Yeah,
But at the same time, the one thing they don't have is like the most noticeable thing
the
sometimes.
most plentiful resource in the NHL, and this is why I get so mad. They got the hard stuff out of the way. Go have freaking fun with this, man. Get Bedard a star winger. That's what frustrates me so much. It's not like, we have to get a goalie. We have to get a defenseman. We gotta get it's a winger.
Don't need to get a right shot defenseman, that's for sure. That's usually the hardest thing to get. You have
Yeah.
3 of them. You didn't even know you had 3 of them until the season started. Let's be honest.
Nope.
Like, Jesus. Whatever. Like we said. And that's why I just pray to God Bettman just rigs this thing and just gives us top 2. So I can just sleep at night and just be like, okay, I don't like, I know at the end of the day we're getting one of those 2 and the direction's fine. But like if they don't get one of those 2, that's where I think the delusions start to creep in. And it's just like, I don't know where they go. Like if they're picking 5, I do not know what they're doing. Period.
Me neither.
I'd hope they trade
Like,
it, but they're probably, like
him.
you said, going to take another right-handed shot, which I think is so dumb because it's just going to put a fucking target on one of those right-handed D-men's back. So you can either do that or trade one of them out of town immediately. I don't know.
That's what I mean. If you know you're going to be drafting another right-handed defenseman, you need to have a trade ready for one of them and stop falling in love with your prospects. Not all 4 right-handed defensemen are going to play on your team. You only have 6 defensemen in general. You got to stop. Like, again, I love that Kyle David. Like, not a lot of GMs make trades the way Kyle Davidson does, where he tries to satisfy all players. You got to be fucking cutthroat and ruthless for once and make your team better and not worry about other GMs and players for that matter.
Yeah, it's gonna be whatever it is at the end of the day that they do. But we talked like, and the quote from him that's the quote from Kyle in the last couple weeks that's been the one that stuck with me is the one where he's like, well, you can't really make trades until some of these guys have value. And it's like, well, you can though. You really can. Because there's this thing called a prospect. And sometimes the prospect has more value than the actual player. The mystery box sometimes is still more valuable because of something, whether it's draft position or they scored 70 goals or something of that nature. Like, get creative. Get creative, for God's
Sometimes
sake.
you gotta.
Creativity better not involve draft picks, for God's sake. If I see one more, we traded 2 firsts to get pick 27. Got to draft Merrick Van Acker this year. Nothing against Merrick Van Acker or Mason West or Sam Renzel. I'm just tired of those being the trades. I'm so tired of it. Like, if the one trade is them getting another contract to buy out, I'm going to lose my mind.
No, we can't be doing that this year. No more Andre Burakovskis. Nope. And then you need to be locked out. Who is that Jets player? What is his name? I need
Jamal
to remember
Adams.
it. Jamal Adams. Okay, I'll try to remember that for next
Lock him
time.
out.
Like, that needs to be the entire front office. If that's the
Jail.
case. Yeah.
Grandma doesn't come out of the cage until we get a top 6 forward.
I think Nuremberg is a little too harsh, but yeah, I think Grandma staying in the cage is fine.
More positive note, Matthew Schaefer for youngest defenseman ever with 50 points this season.
Awesome.
Beast mode.
And that's changed my whole thing on the draft. Like, fuck, if one of these guys is a Matthew Schaefer level, somehow draft them. But anyways, that kind of leads into my next point. Do you want to do a little conspiracy theory, tinfoil hat, Alex Jones with Infowars panning in the background? I saw someone tweet about the Islanders and how, I think it was a Flyers fan, because I brought up earlier, Flyers fans are not happy right now. How Islanders and their mayor were complaining about, like, Isles fans and the mayor were complaining about they don't get their All-Star game. And then funny enough, they get first overall pick. So maybe that is in the cards for Chicago to get another winger for Connor Bedard. I don't know. Just thought that was interesting.
I mean, there's a reason I say that's rigged every fucking year. Like, I don't say that shit just to be funny. I genuinely think this thing's rigged. I screamed it on the live stream when we got Bedard that it's rigged. I think I've screamed it every year we've been on the show that this thing is rigged. Like, and if you don't think it's rigged, I'm sorry. Now they're kind of making it clear as ever, and I'm gonna keep it a buck. If no one moves this year, they have all control because they have this little pad. Now I'm gonna get into real conspiracy theory mode. Since COVID, every year it's either been a crazy jump. Actually, I'll go farther back than that. Holy shit, it does go farther back than that. If you go back to 2017, every other year, someone jumps like crazy. Like Devils jumped both times. Then, well, yeah. So what was 2020? Fuck. 2020, 2021, there's a gap. COVID, blur. We all know it. 2022 was the year that Montreal got it. They stayed. Hawks jumped 23. Sharks stay 24. Islanders, crazy jump 25. If everyone stays, I just feel like this is becoming more and more clear. And I'm going to be really honest. 2019 was the most obvious. You gave it to the three biggest markets. And for being honest, they kind of did it again. Like, oh, we're going to give it to the new team and the team that's in New York. Like, and then
a lot of
the year was crystal clear was the year that the fucking lottery pick was won by 8. Like, the second the loser in the bubble got in the draft lottery, I knew that shit was rigged the second it happened. Like, we can't pretend like we're oblivious to this anymore. Like, Bettman does whatever the fuck he wants. Did you see the Tulsky stuff today? Eric Tulsky spoke up at the GS meeting, and Bettman literally just put his dick on, pardon my language, put his you know what on the table and just said, hey, does anyone agree with this guy? And you just heard crickets. Like, the guy's a jerk. He throws his weight around. And you want me to pretend like this league is not rigged. So, yes, keep screaming that the Blackhawks should win the draft lottery because Bettman should be smart and rig the thing to make some money for once. Because that's all he cares about today is the bottom line and how much money these franchises are making and how much money the next franchise is going to make. He doesn't give a shit about any of this other stuff. He doesn't give a shit about your team getting injured. He doesn't give a shit about your team losing in the lottery. He doesn't give a shit about whatever the hell you're complaining about.
The
with
playoff format that sucked for well over a decade now.
Doesn't care. So, like,
Department of Player Safety.
Shocked by this? Where have you been? Like, this, like, once again, we live in two different worlds, apparently. So, like, people that are shocked by this and, like, Flyers fans that are complaining about this, and I get it. It's your division rival. I bet there were a lot of Central fans bitching when the Hawks won, too. Like, I understand that part of it. But at the same time, it's the fucking NHL. Like, they do what they want. There's no rules. It's actually a freaking wild, wild west. And maybe you complain enough and you'll win the lottery this year. I think you should just take some notes. Honestly, make enough of noise to where Bettman even acknowledges it.
Dude, complaining works. Ottawa got their first round pick back. Like, I know.
Yeah, but your GM your owner doesn't have enough balls to complain like that one did. Like, let's be honest. Like, shout out Michael Landauer. What a beast.
He should.
Oh my God. What a beast. And he's got every right to. Like, oh my God. Like, you're going to take away my first in the last year and also pushing off the first every year because they know the NHL is going to be like, we're good. Like, this league sucks. This every show. Best sport, worst league. And I'm sorry for Flyers fans. I get it. It sucks. You can't stop a nosebleed. Mishkov's going through a sophomore slump and everyone's hearing about it.
No, he's fat. Rick Tocchet says.
Like, whatever. I get it, but at the same time, I'm just like, if you're genuinely shocked by that's on you. It's on you, man. That's on you. Oh my God, that's on you. Like, this isn't shocking. This isn't some revolutionary thing. Like you said, Ottawa just did it like 3 weeks ago. You just need to bitch enough and get it in the right light and make the right people squeal and you will get what you want. And usually that requires you saying, hey, you're going to lose a lot of money if you don't do this. That usually gets Bettman's attention. But I digress.
Well,
I don't know how Philly will do that to win the lottery, but
yeah, kind of to fuel the conspiracy theories. I don't think the draft was rigged. like 15 years ago. Otherwise, Edmonton wouldn't have won 3 years in a row and then win the best player to come through the draft in the last maybe ever, honestly. Like, no disrespect to Sidney Crosby and Alex Ovechkin and like guys like Mario Lemieux and Eric Lindros, bunch of prospects that passed, but like Connor McDavid is Connor McDavid. Like, think they would have preferred him to go anywhere. Edmonton's probably the last place they would want him to go to. And since then, I think Toronto's got first overall. Toronto's Toronto. Like, you want to give them something, and same with Montreal. But yeah, I don't think it's a coincidence that Vancouver hasn't picked first overall or Calgary or any of those teams. So, but they might this year.
Yeah. Yeah, this
They might
year is
just be
going to be
so
really
bad.
interesting. Batman's got so many options to be a little shit. You can give it to Chicago. You can give it to the Rangers. You can give it to the Panthers. Like, oh man, you can give it to the Bruins or the Leafs. He's salivating at what he could do with that first overall pick this year.
Dude, Panthers is the ultimate chaos. The ultimate middle finger to everyone.
If I have to know that the Seth Jones trade is linked to the Panthers getting Gavin McKenna, I'm done. Like, I just don't care. I'm done. I'm done with everything. Also, Bedard just scored a sexy ass breakaway goal. Holy smokes.
Yeah, I saw that. Goal number 28.
In his Duffy, no Gucci. Good player. Get him a fucking actual player to play with.
Yeah. Yeah, and to make a TLDR, yeah, get Bedard some help.
So
Fuck
56
the fads.
minutes
You
later.
owe it solely to you fully owe it to number 98 to make.
Look at him going beast mode on the Wild by himself tonight. Like, come on, man. This guy's been playing on another level. He's playing possessed since the Olympics. Like, this should be the sign. Like, it should have been the sign before he got hurt, for being honest, because he was on a absolute tear before
he was on
hurt.
pace for like 50 goals and 120 points, something like that. It was crazy. We were robbed of a truly great
season right now. Oh no.
Yeah.
Also, like, gonna shatter his career high in points probably like tomorrow. So
already beat his career high in goals.
Should have beat his career high in goals by like Christmas this year, but he got hurt. So dumb. But
a guy who's not even in the division anymore.
Yeah, I'll say it every show. Like, thank you, Doug Armstrong. Thank you for putting a chip on this kid's shoulder, even more than he already needed it. Like, he was already going to do that himself, but like, oh, he just needed more people to tell him that he's not good. Like, thank you. Can we play the Blues this year? God, I hope we play them one more time. Like, I need Bedard to take him to school. But, yep.
Okay. Like, with the Western Conference, I know you said earlier, like, the Central is an arm race. I think it's so top heavy because, like, Dallas is there to stay. They're going to be great for a long time. Colorado is, just if they keep Nathan McKinnon and Cale Makar. And Minnesota, I think they're always, if not like at their worst, are mid and probably going to be in the hunt for a wild card spot if they aren't able to keep Quinn Hughes. But apparently they're going to get Austin Matthews now or whatever. Utah's going to be battling there too. But like, as far as like Nashville, Winnipeg, St. Louis, don't scare me at all. They could leapfrog all those teams next year. And who in the Pacific scares you right now? San Jose does. Anaheim's going to be good. But are you scared of the Oilers or Vegas in a couple of years? Like, the opportunity for a wild card spot, it was here this year. But to me, it can be here next year and the next few years. And you're naturally
saying it's going to be here next year. Like, if they don't make a move, I think it's here next year, just regardless. Because they're going to get younger, they're going to get faster, and you're not going to lose your two best players for 20 games, most likely. Like, it's just a fucking reality of the situation. They're probably going to be in the hunt next year. But here's where I'm like, it's still an arms race. Utah's not going anywhere. Dallas is not going anywhere. Colorado's not going anywhere. And Minnesota is probably going to be pretty good, at least for the next 3 years. So you are in the wild card conversation, at least until one of those teams falls off. So, like, this is why I say it's an arms race, because if you really want to be good, it's going to take a lot more. But, I mean, to make the playoffs in the West, like, Shit, they just need a couple bounces. Like, I'm so serious. They just need a couple bounces and they're right in the home. But yeah. So positive Pierce back to bring us all home as Nico Sturm scores and wins that shutout clown. Fuck. Time for us to blow 2-0 lead. Woo! Hashtag ethical tank. Hashtag gonna get the 5th overall pick, baby.
Surely that hasn't happened this year against Minnesota where they blow 2-0 lead. Anyways,
just can any Minnesota game be normal this year? That's all I ask. That's all I ask. Ever.
Normal.
By the way, last win they had against the Wild was pre-COVID, and it was a Patrick Kane hat trick where David Camp had one of the assists.
Get excited.
This sport. God, the Hawks suck for the last 8 years. Oh my God.
Yep. And yeah, it shows that there's levels to this because they could get easy to a wild card spot, but yeah, to run a division, that's a different matter. So yeah, I definitely agree. It's an arms race, but it's not like everyone in the Central is at that now. Like they can fight for a wild card spot next year. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL, is built for the fastest game on ice. With player props and live betting, every shift, every shot, every save gives you options to get in on the game with DraftKings Sportsbook. New customers, bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. Connecticut, call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino in Kansas, wager tax pass-through money apply in Illinois. 21 plus in most states. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer. They should be.
I'll be positive, Schmitty, for 2 seconds. You want to laugh? Want a good laugh? So obviously we mentioned earlier Lucas Reichel scored his first goal with the Bruins tonight. You know when Lucas Reichel's last goal was, Pierce?
It was against St. Louis.
Yep.
Wasn't it?
In October.
Yeah, and that was like
with the Blackhawks.
Like that was on my birthday. Or it was like a couple days after my birthday or before, I can't remember.
Yeah, the fact that he never registered a goal with the Canucks is honestly mind-boggling. I can't the mismanagement that's going on in Vancouver can be dealt with another time. But hey, they beat Florida, so they're not doing anyone any favors ever. So just still the worst team in the league. Like if any team deserved to drop the 3, it's them. Holy smokes. You do not get rewarded for this mismanagement.
Yeah, they won that game on October 15th. I remember that because I was working, and the Jays were down 2-0 to the Mariners, won that game, and that's where they started coming back. So that's how I remember it.
Frank Nazar was aura farming that game. That was a fun game.
Oh, yeah.
Scored, started a line brawl, got out of the line brawl, emoted.
Yeah, on Binnington, no less.
Jordan Shittington. Just kidding. He's only good when he's on Team Canada.
Even then, I'm glad there's going to be no more Jordan Binnington on Team Canada. Hopefully.
Says you.
Never know. Yeah. Who's going to be the next GM for Canada? I think they were talking about it on the Dangle podcast. Jim Neal feels perfect to take over.
Logically, Kyle Dubas wins a cup with the Penguins. It's time.
Yeah, this year.
Time for young Squire to take over. Young 40-year-old Squire.
Skinner leads him to a cup, and now he's the goalie for Team Canada. Never
GM, I think they're fine. Better question is who's the goalie in 2 years?
Yeah, they can.
Who's going to step up?
We could give answers right now, and it could be completely different within a month, honestly.
Yeah, I don't even know who it would be. Maybe some kid comes out of nowhere. Maybe Devin Levi finally lives up to his legacy that was put on by man and not himself.
Yeah, and there's not really a number one goaltending prospect coming up through Canada as far as I know. So, yeah. Let's talk about other teams. One team I wanted to bring up was the Columbus Blue Jackets because they have just been basically unstoppable since Rick Bowness has been hired, and I'm glad that they're finally putting it together. because they have been made so many draft picks, and now, yeah, it just seems like everything's coming together now. Helps that you have one of the best defensemen in the NHL with Zach Werenski. Seems like they're finally getting saves because that's been an issue for them over the past however many years. And yeah,
Oh,
like
I want to make that note. Guy who needs the biggest shout out, obviously Zach Rowensky. In my opinion, should win the Norris Trophy this year. He has my pick for it at least. But it's Jack Reeves. Oh my God! First of all, saving my butt in fantasy this year. But second of all,
yeah,
because that's the most important thing. But this guy just keeps winning, and he's a guy that can win in every different style. He can win the shootout. That's 1-0. He can win the Pac-12 after dark 7-6 game, and he can win you a close 3-2 hockey game. And he's done it in every facet for them this year, and they're getting ridiculous depth scoring. Another guy I'm going to shout out that is not going to get enough credit is Charlie Coyle. I'm pretty sure he has like 55 points this year. That was a cap dunk, or they traded like a second for him, and we were all kind of like, "What the hell's going on there?"
yeah,
And
that
Gavin
was a weird
Brindley, I
trade.
think. Yeah, it was a weird
Yeah,
trade. I think it worked out for both sides
55
pretty good.
points. Yep.
Yeah, I know because I have him in fantasy too. Like best waiver pickup of all time next to Beckett Seneca. But like they're getting depth scoring from all over the place. Voronkov has become a solidified top 6 forward. Marchenko is like a 90-point demon now, which I think is
Dude, he's
awesome. Because there was
underrated.
a time
57 points, 61 games, 25 goals.
talk can you like his first stat year, I swear he had like 20 goals and no assists or something. Like he has such a
Yeah, he
weird
was Cy
trajectory.
Young.
Yeah, he had a
Yeah,
Cy Young performance.
21 goals, 4 assists. That's
Yep.
awesome.
Yep. It was like it was such a beast mode stat line, and his analytics were so good his rookie year, and he has gotten better every single year. And if he was like, I'm gonna be honest, if he was on a Canadian team, or if he was on Chicago, or if he was on one of these bigger market teams, everyone would be talking about him because he is a demon. Like you watch some of the goals this guy's scoring, like he does Michigan's for fun. Like this guy's got some of the best hands in hockey. That's another guy. Is he Russian? Like it's another guy who
Yep.
probably would be on Team Russia and just be a demon, and they'd put
Second
him at
round
center
pick,
too.
too.
Because I would just put him at center. But Monahan has been a great depth guy for them as well. Adam Fantilli I think is now a 3-time 20-goal scorer. I think he just scored again tonight.
He
And
has 19 goals unless he scored tonight or they're
he
playing
just
tonight.
scored
I don't
tonight. Yeah,
think
that's what I
so.
was saying.
There you go. 20 goal score certified.
Yee. But this is a team that just scores in bunches, man. Like it's someone they remind me of Buffalo a lot because Buffalo and them have the same type of scoring where it's you'll blink and they'll drop 3 on you. And it'll come from their back end, it'll come from their fourth line, it'll come from their top guys. Like you really can't predict where it's coming from. Like Matthew Olivier is going to tip a puck from Ivan Provorov from the point, and you're just going to say, I don't know how I'm going to protect this. Oh, don't worry, Adam Fantilli's coming over the boards and Marchenko, and they're just going to go snipe one on you. Like they just come at you in waves. And I wanted to give Buffalo credit for this too, because they're just playing a ridiculously good style of hockey right now. Like they look like a Stanley Cup contender. They're playing that good of hockey. But
I win the East.
we talked about it at the time. We didn't understand the Dean Evison firing at the time, but man, Rick Bowness was the guy they needed in that room.
Out.
He's got them firing on all cylinders. A lot of these moves that we kind of didn't understand, they have some really good veteran depth on that back end. Like I didn't really like the Severson and Provorov moves at the time, but you do have 4 horses on that back end. Another guy who's not getting talked about enough, Denton Machachuk, is super underrated on that
11
back
goals
end.
in 60 games.
Yeah, another guy on my fantasy team. But I told you Columbus saved my ass in fantasy this year, and Buffalo for that matter. But he's their 4th defenseman. Like,
oh my God,
they are ridiculously deep. And you have Jack Reeves, who could be your starter. Merzlikins is not a liability this year. They're in a pretty good spot right now, man. They're in a pretty good spot, and they got another goalie coming up in the minors, I'm pretty sure. They traded David Juracek, and they look like they came out of the better end of that trade. And like we talked about it last show, this is a team where like a lot of their prospects haven't hit. Ken Johnson's probably out the door. Another guy the Blackhawks can go get this offseason. Let's go do Dylan Strome 2.0. Like, let's go do that one. But like, dude, their prospects haven't worked out, and they adapted and they evolved. And that's credit to who's their GM right now? It's
Don
the
Waddell.
old Carolina GM, right?
Don Waddell.
Thank you. Don Waddell. Doing a great job in Columbus. Very underrated job, especially with a market that is hard to garner our big stars and hard to get guys to stick around. He really is I think he's doing a bang up job. And let's be honest, that's probably not a team I want to see in the playoffs. Like they're coming in white hot
Nope.
and they're 4 lines deep, and each line can play a different style. So it's a tough team to match up against, and I think very few teams can. And imagine it's Columbus Buffalo round 1. Like
that would be so fun.
Man. That would be so much fun because I think both those teams just stack up very well.
Both
and obviously they haven't been there in a while. I think it'd be electric. But oh man. Those are 2 teams that could go 4 lines with each other. I think Tampa's another one that could do it probably. Montreal to an extent, maybe 2, but I don't think down the middle they're as deep. They're a fun team, man. They're a fun team and they're a sneaky team. And I think the reason they're sneaky is because, the average fan might know Zach Werenski. They're not going to know any of those other guys.
Good.
And
Zach Werenski, 69 points, 60 games, 20 freaking goals. Holy.
Talk about a guy who's gotten better every single year he's been in the league. And that's a guy who came in year 1 as a rookie in that dynamic 16-17 year and just lit it up with Columbus. Or I think it might have been
47 points. No, 16-17, you're right.
He was a beast. And he took a puck to the face and Kessel came back, had that big welt, scored a goal. Guy's big time player, had an assist with the gold medal goal, obviously. He's just keeps getting better every year. And that's a guy who is itching to get back to the playoffs, especially because he's been here through everything with that team, through making the playoffs in 2019 to the
There's a star that did stay and maybe the best one they've ever had.
Yeah, I think there's a very good argument he's the best Blue Jacket of all time.
I think at this point he's better than Rick Nash.
Oh, I think so. I think so. If he gets a Norris, he definitely will be. And you have to think and I think the reason they don't get talked about enough is because if Zach Werenski's doing this in 2017, I think he's the best defenseman in hockey. But he's doing it right now with defensemen who are just doing Herculean things on the back.
You're not even the best American left-handed defenseman.
Certainly that guy was on Team USA.
Crazy.
Oh man. Dude, but Bouchard's doing incredible things. Makar is just every year he's finding a new ceiling. Quinn Hughes is, I think, got 40 points in 30 games with the Wild or something crazy like that.
Another level, yeah.
Yeah, we're and we talked about this 5 years ago. We're extremely spoiled with defensemen right now in the NHL, and I don't think not nearly enough people talk about it. And I don't think these Norris Trophy conversations should be as unanimous as they've been. Let's just put it that way. And this year, there should not be a runaway at all. There's 5 different guys I can name off the top of my head that can win that thing right now. We didn't even talk about Mo Seider.
Makar, Werenski, Bouchard, Seider. Yep, that's at least 5.
Yep. And there's guys like Heiskanen and McAvoy who are great, but they're just, half a tier under that. Adam Fox, who was hurt half the year, but is an afterthought. Lane Hudson, I think, is breaking records for.
I would put Schaefer in there too.
Schaefer just broke a record tonight. He's 18. He's got 50 points, dude. Come on. We're spoiled at that position. I mean, Wyatt Kaiser, Louis Cremier's big shot.
Big Lou.
Big Lou Krev, my guy. Keep doing 102-mile-an-hour
Rasmus Dahlin.
Boomer GM's going to want you so bad.
Darren Radish has 58 points.
Welcome back, Eric Gustafson, bro. Holy shit.
Except he can actually play defense. I mean, did play in Rockford like Eric Gustafson did. Common Blowman mistake.
So, do the Sharks overpay Anderson or Radish? Which one is it?
Radish. Anderson sucks now.
Yeah, but he scored against the Hawks and he stared down the camera.
Yeah. Now he's going to get 8.
Moose does. Ooh. Fucking lame as shit.
Jacob Chikrin's good too. Can I shout out this name because we were talking about him the other night? Eric Carlson still got it.
Beast mode. Unk still got it. Literally torched the Avs on Tuesday or Wednesday, whatever day that game was. Oh my gosh. Still the best stretch pass in the sport. Will die on that hill. I've seen him hit some 180-foot passes, 160-foot passes that'll make your jaw drop. Insane.
That sounds like a BuzzFeed article. The stretch passes will make your jaw drop. Wait till you read number 7.
Passes. Number 1. Erik Karlsson in the 2017 playoffs versus the Boston Bruins.
Or it's like number 15, Erik Karlsson
Welcome to
Rainbow
Watch Mojo.
Pass. And today we will be going over our top 10 Erik Karlsson stretch passes. Before we get to number 1, here are some honorable mentions.
Out of that video. I'd watch the hell out of that video. Oh my god. I'd watch that so fast. Take notes, Watch Mojo. We'll get you like 10 views. It'd be great.
Also, shout out to Mason Marchment. Had 13 points in 29 games with the Kraken. In 25 games, has 21 points and 12 goals.
Yeah, maybe the Kraken just can't score goals. And like we've been saying that for like 5 years. I don't know. Crazy thought. But yeah, Mason Marchment, like clearly when he's in the right system, he's a 60-point player. Like, let's just be very clear with that. Like he was that in Dallas. He was that for a time and I think it was Florida. At least the point pace was.
Dubas disaster class trading him for Dennis Malkin. And Connor Garland has 4 goals in 6 games since coming over from Vancouver.
Yeah, he's been great. He's been great since coming over. That's another, and you got him for 6 more years. That extension hasn't even kicked in yet. Yeah,
I don't know if I'd want to be paying him till 2032, but hey, yeah, you got someone here.
Does he have trade protection? If not, just buy him out. Who cares?
Doesn't look like it on. Oh no, he does have trade protection on the upcoming upcoming contract, no movement clause. So that turns to a
Sasha Boisvert. He's dying to fight in the NHL. He's gonna get fucking shelled by I don't even know who's a goon on Colorado. Sorry,
Parker Kelly. I don't know.
Yeah, Parker Kelly's gonna hit him in the mouth just like he did to Connor Murphy back in the day. Dirty Parker Kelly. Sorry, I didn't
that turns to modified no trade clause for Connor Garland in case you were interested.
Yeah, you can move that. You can move that. Plus, that's a type of player where even when he's a bottom sixer, people are going to want him. Like, that's not a player who, like, even when his body gives out, like, someone's going to trade for him. Like, oh no, we can get Connor Garland at $6 million in 2030 when the cap's like $110 million. Yeah,
I hope it's more than that by then. Yeah, they're not a fun team to play against. Like Marchment's not a fun time. Connor Garland's not a fun time. Charlie Coyle, Matthew Libby is not a fun time, and Boone Jenner is still there. Yeah, like really, like Fantilli's been good, but not like maybe quite at the level we think he can be. Kromarchenko is great, but like a lot of the pieces that are helping them have been external ads and not their draft picks. Den Machaychuk seems to be working for them, so that's good. But yeah, like a lot of their big pieces they've made by trades. And I mean, Zach Werenski is their franchise guy. That helps, but yeah, they're shout out to Columbus's pro scouting because it seems like they find pesky guys and put them in the lineup and they're thriving, and even more so with Rick Bowness as the head coach.
Pushing all the right buttons.
Yeah. You bring that up, the Blue Jackets maybe making the playoffs and facing the Sabres in the first round. I want to take a look at what the playoffs look at right now, what the playoff picture is. So in the East, it would be Carolina versus Detroit, Buffalo versus Boston, which would be a lot of fun. The rematch of the 2021 Cup final, Tampa and Montreal, and then the Penguins and the Islanders. That's for the East. Yeah, I hope
Penguins,
Columbus
Islanders just like jump back 14 years. Crosby beating them in overtime. Or I think it was Letang beating them in overtime.
No, it was Brooks Orpik. I'm pretty sure.
Even worse. Sorry, I just made a face earlier because Dennis Gilbert just got a point in the NHL in the year 2026.
Who does he even play for? Does he play for Buffalo?
No, he plays for Ottawa.
Oh,
got an assist on
because he was with Buffalo.
Goal.
Because he got traded with Dylan Cousins, I'm pretty sure. That's why I was thinking he was still in Buffalo.
I'd trade with my boy Dylan Cuz. What a guy. Also, like, somehow that trade worked out for both sides because Josh Norris is, like, now exactly what Buffalo needs when he's healthy. So,
That's the huge key when he's healthy.
In division hockey trade that worked out for both sides. You rarely see those.
Yeah, and what are you talking about? I think the Carlo for Mitten in the first has worked out for both teams.
Almost as good as the
uh,
Phil Kessel trade.
uh, and then in the West, Colorado would face Seattle,
Ooh.
and Anaheim would face Utah, even though they're separated by 2 points, and then Dallas, Minnesota, and Edmonton and Vegas in the West.
Edmonton, Vegas, round 1, and Dallas, Minnesota, round 1 is like this is exactly why we need to go back to 1-8. Oh my god! But no, we need the first round to be good. You know, the round that not everyone can watch every single game, and we'll just make the conference final bad again for like the 8th year in a row. No, it's not 8 years,
Well,
but it's been a
listen,
while.
I love hockey, but I don't think the Stanley Cup playoffs aren't what they could be with how
They're
the
flawed.
yeah. It, I just like 2014, which is funny enough because I think it was the first year they implemented the new playoff format. You had LA and Chicago in the conference final, and then the next year you had Anaheim and Chicago. Like it felt like 10, 15 years ago, you had the best teams going at it in the conference finals, but the teams just like beat each other so much to a pulp in the first round that like it's not fun by the conference finals anymore.
Yeah, and that's the problem. And I was talking to a coworker about this today. Funny enough, he's like, "Should we go back to 1-8?" I was like, "Yeah," because without 1-8, you're never getting a rivalry like Chicago, Vancouver ever again. Like, there's probably should have been more times for McDavid and McKinnon to cross pass, but they've only crossed pass once because one of them usually gets knocked out before that. Like, and
One of
I
them has
get
to
it. You
play
want to
LA
have
four
your
years in a row.
like you want your division rivalries. I get it, but at the same time, like I don't know. You want the product to be good and you want the product to get better as they go, and most sports do. And I feel like this sport takes a drop off after round 1 to the cup final. And they need to figure out how to fix that. And the way to fix that, I think, is going 1-8. But devil's advocate, and I will die on this hill, everyone plays at the same circumstances. Tough it up. Like when the Leafs, like when the Blues complained, the Hawks had to go through the same shit and they won the cup. When the Leafs bitched about having to play the Bruins every year, the Lightning did that and spanked them twice. Like every team has to deal with it. Some teams just actually know how to deal with it. Other teams
Dude, the
complain about having to
freaking
deal with it.
the Capitals lost to the Penguins in the second round 2 years in a row. You know what they did? Instead of complaining, they beat them the third time and finally won a cup. So
Yeah, you know, the Carolina Hurricanes didn't win a game in the conference final 2 straight times. You know what they did the third time? They won a game. That's why
yeah,
we need to
that's
fix it.
true progress.
Like, that's why we need to fix it right there. And also, no offense to the Dallas Stars, but they're another reason because every time the Stars get to the conference final, they shit the bed. They take the piss and they lose in 5. Like, it's just like
AKA
the
face
conference
Stuart
final has been,
Skinner.
and this goes back a long time. I think the conference final has been highly unentertaining since like 2018, maybe? Maybe
What
2019.
is what's the last great conference final?
I mean, 2018, I just remember Capitals Lightning being a banger. So,
that was a banger. Yeah.
uh, like, I don't know. I just feel
Gotta
like
go
there
back a while and you
was
gotta
times
think.
where you have a critical game 7. I mean, I just think Hawks Kings. I think Hawks Ducks. I think Rangers Lightning. I think Rain or Lightning Penguins. Like, there's just these big games, and you just don't. I feel like either the teams are just mismatched by that point because of the divisions that they went through, or like this year would be perfect for 1-8 because of, like you said, the West is extremely top heavy. So naturally, those 3 phenoms wouldn't have to all fucking play each other. But at the same time, the one that ends up winning that, oh my God, they're going to steamroll whoever the fuck comes out of that other division. Like normally it's the case of like, oh, you're going to get them all battered after the first 2 rounds. Sorry, whoever comes out of that gauntlet in the Central, like you don't want to touch them in the conference final. Like I'm betting everything on that team because you would have had to gone through hell and back to get to the conference final. Cannot say the same for the Pacific, and I'm going to be honest, can't really say the same for the Metro right now. So, yeah, go back to 1-8. Go back to 1 through 8.
Seems pretty simple, but Gary Bettman likes it, and that's all that matters. Yeah, normally I would agree. Like, if this were any other year and like Colorado, Dallas, Minnesota, Clockwork Orange just beat the brakes off each other. Yeah, probably once you get to the conference final, you are gassed. And again, that's been evidence last couple years with Dallas having to face, I think, Vegas and Edmonton in the conference final. They always fall short. But this year, I think the Pacific is just so bad. Like, Edmonton doesn't scare me, Vegas doesn't scare me. And what are the chances Anaheim or San Jose gets through? I don't know. But yeah, this year, like if Colorado, I think especially since if they hang on to win the division and the Western Conference, if they don't get to the Cup final, I think it's a failure. And they would
Can
tell
we talk
Nathan
about
McKinnon would
Colorado for a
say that.
second?
Yeah,
Can we talk about
let's
them
do
for a
it.
second? They've won 1 game since the deadline. I don't think that's getting talked about enough. And we talk about it a
Dude, their
lot.
lead Their
Sorry.
lead on the Stars is only 2 points. Granted, they do have a game in hand, but like it is not a lock like it was a couple months ago before the Olympics.
We talk about this a lot, and we've seen it a lot with teams that are very good in the regular season. Like, I think of Boston and Tampa. Those are the first 2 examples. 65 and I think 62 wins or 60 wins. Regardless,
65 wins Boston, 62 Tampa, I think.
thank you.
A lot of
Um,
wins.
regardless, I remember very clearly with both of those teams, once March came around, they were winning a lot of games 5-3, 7-4, 6-3. A lot of these high scoring games, winning a lot of games in overtime, winning a lot of crazy comebacks, a lot of stuff that leans towards a high PDO. You know what I mean? Or leans
Lots of
towards,
skill.
yeah,
Like
high end talent
skill is
prevails
beating
above all.
effort. Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you. High end talent prevails above all in the regular season. It doesn't in the playoffs. It doesn't in a 7-game vacuum gauntlet. And Boston and Tampa both found out, granted, in 2 different perspectives. One blew a 3-1 series lead. The other got fucking swept. But
Really,
it blew a
yeah.
3-0 lead in game 1, mind you. But the signs were there of the damn cracking is what the point I'm trying to make. And you could point to that with the Lightning, you could point to that with the Bruins. And for as good a seasons as they had, they started to teeter off at the back end. You started to see the cracks in the dam, and the dam broke in round 1. And Colorado, if they don't wake up really soon, and let's be honest, your assistant captain is seeing the writing on the wall, and he's being mad as hell in the media right now because he sees it. If you don't change this soon, like you said, you are only up 2 points against Dallas, and Dallas doesn't seem like they're slowing down anytime soon. And mind you, they're doing this without Mikko Rantanen. He is coming back at the end of
And
the
they
month.
beat you in a shootout last night. All these precious points matter.
McKinnon missing the open net against an American goalie. Surely I haven't seen this before.
Surely I wouldn't have two
But
nickels for it if it happened twice.
certainly not. But it's a team that really did mortgage their future for this run, and granted, they'll have Kadri for the next couple years. But
Good day ever.
yeah, it's a like you said, if they don't wink a cup final, I think it's a damn failure this year. Considering where they started, considering the performances they're getting out of some of their top guys, like Marty Necas is having one of the most slept on seasons ever right now. And I don't think that's getting talked about enough because Nathan McKinnon was running away with the scoring title a month ago.
He isn't anymore.
Nikita Kucherov for one, by the way, over 2 points a game in his last 45 games. Like he's on the highest point a game in the last and that's time frame. So it's like Mario Lemieux. He's doing stuff that we have never seen in our lives. Like I can't stress that enough. He's been dynamite and should win MVP, which is saying something because Connor McDavid is doing Connor McDavid things and is probably going to get it on
dragging that team kicking and screaming to the playoffs
without Draisaitl, which we'll get into in a little bit. But Colorado, I think there are serious red flags. I think there's serious red flags with the chemistry. I think there's serious red flags with, I'm going to be honest, it's another team that banks on high-end talent a lot of the time. Like you look at a lot of these wins Colorado gets, it's because Makar and McKinnon and Necas are going gangbusters on everyone. That's not going to happen in the playoffs. And we talked about it last time. McKinnon had 7 goals in 7 games, and it wasn't enough. Like It's got to come from somewhere else. You better hope Kadri finds his legs there. You better hope Nick Waugh finds his legs there. You better hope you get your guys healthy before the dance, because there are no excuses once you get there. And I'm going to be honest. Yeah, you're probably going to play a limping wild card 2 team, but round 2, someone is going to punch you in the mouth if you get out of it. So you better wake up real fast.
Yeah, and I think I brought this up last podcast. No first round picks for the next 3 years, only 1 second round pick in the next 3 years, and only 1 third round pick in the next 3 years. So it's now or never for them.
Yeah, it's now or never, and the
They
lineup
don't
is
have any
probably going
young
to be the
guys
lineup
coming up.
going forward.
Yeah, like what they have now is what it's going to be in the next couple of years. And you know what I was thinking of? Like, because we're talking about teams that have historically great seasons, and usually since they don't face any kind of adversity, they get pummeled in the first round. Maybe they get to the second round, but I think it's the thing of the President's Trophy. They haven't won a cup since 2013 when the Hawks did. And I don't think they've been past the third round. I think I saw something like they haven't been past the third, like they haven't been past the second round in quite some time either. So, um, I was thinking with the Avalanche, that meme where it's like, I asked my landlord to raise my rent so I could grind harder. I feel like the Avalanche just got to like lose some games and then have to play Minnesota in the first round. It's like, okay, that's the wake up call we need to start grinding and get things back in order.
But like, if you play with your food and lose in round 1 again, and like you could have avoided that very easily because you had 1 regulation loss through like 30 games. Yeah, this is going to be a failure of a fucking season. So like, figure it out. And for Nathan McKinnon, you are pooping away a hard trophy and an Art Ross. I know that probably doesn't matter to him right now. It'd
Oh, I
probably
don't
be
think
sit
it
right next to
cares.
the teddy bear in his, trophy room, but like,
The little boop.
yeah, sit next to the little boo boo in the trophy room. But
Oh my god.
it's not up or shut up time, and the West has never been more wide open except for those 2 teams that you have to go through. You still have to go through them. Credit to the Oilers, who we'll get into in a second. They don't have to go through all 3 of those teams. You do. Or 2 of them in your case, but you do. So, not up or shut up. You got 15 games, figure it out. Actually, probably less. Kind of hope they do fall, because I'd like to see them play Minnesota round 1. I'd like to see how that series goes, because I think,
Go through some adversity. Yeah.
dude, each of their strengths are completely different. Also, Hughes McCarr round 1 is chills, but it's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother thing if they get that. But like Minnesota, like like you would agree, they're like, I know you agree, their biggest weakness is down the middle. That's Colorado's biggest strength, probably. And I would argue Minnesota's defense has more horses, and I'd argue Minnesota has better high-end goaltending, but also Colorado gets better clutch goaltending. So I think it's going to be interesting. God, I'd love to see those 2 teams play round 1. But, Colorado will probably rattle off 6 in a row, and they'll get to play Seattle and, lose to them again, because we can't pretend like Seattle will get off the hook. I certainly haven't seen that before. Yeah, watch out for Colorado, man. I don't know. Starting to see some red flags.
And really the same, like that can be applied to this conversation can be applied to Dallas and Minnesota as well. Like all those teams should at least make the conference final. And I think particularly in the case of Colorado Dallas, you should make the cup final. You are that good. No one in the Pacific scares me. And if McDavid beats you again and Draisaitl's healthy in time and somehow like Oilers get the goaltending to go back to the cup final, then like you all suck. Vegas doesn't scare me. And like as much as I like Anaheim and San Jose, it just seems like a first round exit. Maybe they make the second round, but I don't think they have the depth to go for a cup run. But again, who knows? Like Celebrity could just go
I think
off.
there's some Joel devil magic with the Ducks for at least a round. I do think there's
Mm-hmm.
something there. But I agree. Like this is like, if the Oilers can just get in conference final, and if they're not, that means the goaltending was $850. And I'm not saying that ironically. I genuinely mean the goaltending would probably have to be $850, because I think McDavid can win a series with like $880 goaltending, which is fucking stupid. But I do think he can. I do think he can. That's not English. I do think he could.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And if Draisaitl is healthy in time, like I saw conflicting stuff because they said he's going to be out the rest of the regular season, but then Bowman said he's not. Like he might play some games toward the end. So yeah, that's
He's
always
pulling a
great
Pat
when you're.
Kane. He's coming back
Yeah,
game 1.
that's probably what's
Or if they need
happening.
him in
But
game 79. We don't know yet.
yeah,
Depends on their
need him in the
playoff season starts.
yeah, need him in the last game to maybe clinch the division. I don't
In the
know.
last game against Chicago, because Anton Frondell is going to ruin their dreams.
Yeah.
And Sasha
Okay,
Boyer is going to
that's
get a fight.
so like the Oilers. They're either gonna play Vegas or Anaheim, and if they win the division, then they played Utah. Like out of all those teams, I think I'd rather play Vegas the most. If I'm being honest,
Yeah, I don't trust Vegas' goaltending at all. So yeah, I'd
I
want
don't
my
really
best
trust
chance
much
for
about
McDavid getting
Vegas.
15
They're
points and
so
winning you a
disappointing.
round,
Yeah,
and it's probably your best bet. So, but also like I think Edmonton's built to face Vegas. I don't think they're built to face a team like an Anaheim or a Utah where I think they can go roll.
yeah.
Like I'm going to be honest, if they get the 1 seed and have to face Utah, I think that's a terrible mismatch for Edmonton. Like I remember we talked about it in 2020 when the Hawks played them. It's like they're almost built to play a team like that. Edmonton's built to play a team like Vegas. Utah's played to basically counter McDavid and have like 9 guys roll at you. And Anaheim's built the same way too, because Anaheim's built with a bunch of giants. So have fun with that one. Um, but with all that said, it's still wide open. And if they get a save, I'm taking the Oilers every time. Like, what are we doing here? Connor McDavid is the best player in the sport, and he continues to accelerate. He continues to hit a trajectory, and he, outside of one game 7 and one gold medal game, has been the best player on the ice every time in the playoffs or when it matters most.
I the disrespect because of Aaron Judge like never winning.
Don't ever
like
compare it.
I
McDavid to
was
Aaron
gonna
Judge.
because I
Yeah.
saw a tweet. It was like Josh Allen and Aaron Judge and Connor McDavid not showing up when it matters most. I'm like, no, shut up.
Don't even put
I can't
McDavid
speak.
in that group of losers. Oh my God. Like, Josh Allen got a revenant MVP, and we're going to pretend like he's in the same group as Connor McDavid. Get the fuck out of here. Like, this is why McDavid needs to win something. Holy shit. This is why McDavid needs to win something. I can't deal with these talks anymore.
Yeah, for narrative purposes, we need him to win.
Dude, I said the same thing with Obi for years. Like, when you're one of the best players and you don't win, it's the most unfair narrative, especially in a team sport. Like I think the only sport where I think it's fair is basketball, because that's or at least like or individual sports. I will say that like tennis, like you're
Yeah,
in
yeah.
golf, you're obviously obligated because it's your sport, it's you. But hockey's like the most team sport there is. So like it at the end of the day, it can't be you. Like I think Game 7 against the Panthers showed it. Like they played McDavid like the last 8 minutes of the game. He was dead. He couldn't move. Like you can't play him 60 minutes. And unfortunately, you're probably gonna have to play him at least 30 to win this one. Well, who knows? Every year when we thought the Caps had the team to do it and they didn't, it was the team that no one expected. So maybe this is the team. Maybe Bowman made the right changes. Tristan Jarry's going to lock in like Anthony Niemi in 2010. Terrible. Who's going to get the Josh Bailey goal? Oh, my. I already see the vision. Tristan Jarry goes out to play the puck in game 5. Doesn't get the
Braden
puck.
Bowman.
No, it's
know.
Cole Smith. Come on, man. It's Cole Smith.
It's
Cole Smith.
If it was Colton Sissons, he'd miss it.
But yes, fuck yeah, this is the problem with the Oilers. They don't have a goalie, man. They don't have a goalie.
Dude, if they had Stuart Skinner I would feel more confident in them than I am right now.
Stu Skins, at least Stu Skins can get it done. Holy shit, Jari's never gotten it done. Jari's the reason that Crosby hasn't sniffed the playoffs in the last couple of years. Like, come on, man. Oh, God.
I
Whatever.
was talking about
Hopefully,
it with a coworker and how the Oilers should not be taking on any term because you haven't put any term to your top except for Drysdale, well, obviously. But like Bouchard is at 4 years, McDavid is at 2 years. You should not be signing anyone more than 1 year. Like if they at least kept Skinner and it didn't work out again, okay, bye bye. Let's go get a goalie in free agency, sign for 1 year or trade for one because there's always going to be a goalie available on the market. 1 year. You did not need to sign Trent Frederick for 8 years. You did not need to sign Andrew Mangiapane for 2 years and then have to trade a first round pick for him. Just get guys who have 1 year on their contract. Drac Rosovic is working out great for them because of that. Um, like Vasily Podkolzin, I think they've signed him for a bit more. They've gotten some youth. Like Podkolzin's been great for them. Matthew Savoy has really taken a step for them. But yeah, their big mistake was investing any term into depth guys. You should just be cycling and shuffling through depth guys until you find the right mix with McDavid. That includes the goaltending, that includes the defense, and then includes the forwards. It's just try to figure out the best mix for Connor McDavid. But no, you're anchored into three of the worst contracts by each position: goaltending, defenseman, and forward. Just abysmal, brutal.
with the best player in the world. It's the worst.
Yeah, two of the best, like best player in the world, and
Top three player.
like top three player. Yeah, and Zach Hyman's scoring at a 50 goal pace since he's come back. It's sickening.
It's
It really
unacceptable.
is.
It's unacceptable.
Matthias Yamark should not have another year at 1.4. Like, here's another example. Kasperi Kapanen. I don't think he's like lighting the world on fire. Well, he's missed time to injury, 15 points, 28 games, but they haven't locked him into him long term. That's a great contract for them. Yeah, yeah, just
They
so
gotta they
disappointing.
yeah, they just and I it's I'm kind of like with the Oilers how I am with the Hawks to an extent. It's like nothing's gonna change. It's why he should have just left. But he's got 2 more years there. So hopefully he can win for his own sanity. Because I know for him it's gonna eat at him if he can't win in Edmonton. But promise you he's winning the first year he leaves.
It's Stockholm syndrome. Like he wants to win in Edmonton so bad, but it's just no. Everyone around him is
It
failing
might
him.
not be it's not meant to be.
Yeah,
It might not be meant to be, I should say.
but then also like the 2018 Capitals, we thought they were done, and they pulled a cup out of their ass. So I don't know. Maybe with how wide
Stan
open the
Bowman had
NHL
real
is.
balls. He would have traded for Ovechkin or Malkin, whatever those dumb rumors were back in the day.
Yeah, 2016 Hawks are kicking the tires on Malkin. That's crazy.
God, could you imagine if? Oh my God, I don't even know what the future
Fucking
looked like. It would have been hysterical. They probably would have traded Kane, but would have been Taves, Malkin, Hossa. Holy shit!
yeah.
Decent,
Imagine.
but yeah, Oilers are not good. Which is, they're not good. They're losing 2-0 to the Panthers right now too. So
Thank
do
you
they
for
have a
doing
3-game
that,
win
though.
streak this year? Have they done that yet?
I checked the other night. I think they have one, and that's it.
Proud of you. I'm proud of you. Let's go.
Hey, Meg. Proud of you.
Proud of you. I say that all the time, bro. But yeah, like cool, man. And the fact that they have one 3-game win streak and they are sitting at the 2C spot in the Pacific. This league stinks.
Awful.
But this is the parody
Awful.
Bettman wanted, guys. This is the parody Bettman wanted.
Yeah, so they won 3 in a row, like almost a couple months ago now. Late January, they beat Washington in overtime, 6-5. Anaheim
It's a long time ago.
7-4, and then San Jose in overtime 4-3.
Oh. Yeah, not a good hockey team. Not a good hockey team, but they're going to limp into the playoffs and probably limp to the conference final because Connor McDavid is the best player to walk the earth right now. So
They should they have the best chance out of the Pacific at least. And again, if those teams beat the hell out of each other, and you get to a cup final, and then you don't have to face Florida, no, you never know.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
know.
Nick Schmaltz signed at 8x8 in Utah. What do you think about that?
So when's the last time a
Biggie
player signed a
Schmaltz.
7 and 8 year deal back to back? Or was this an 8 year deal back to back to another 8 year deal? Because like he
No, I
signed
think it
two long
was
term contracts. I think that's kind of crazy.
yeah, 7 years and 8 years. Yeah.
You just don't see that a lot. You don't see that a lot with a team player sticking with a franchise through two moves, mind you. Um, Guy
Yeah.
likes stability. Guy likes where he plays. Got great chemistry with Keller. He's a bona fide 65-point guy. I've always been a Nick Schmaltz fan. Everyone that listens to this show knows
What?
this. What? Certainly, I don't have his Adidas jersey sitting right in my closet right now. But love Biggie Schmaltz. But yeah, I mean, this is probably one of the more underrated players in the sport, if we're being honest. Like he's at times he's a top line center, top six center, top line right wing, wherever you want to play him. He can play center or wing, wins draws, can play the penalty kill. I think he's one of the more underrated bumpers in the sport, has one of the more underrated one timers in the sport. He's had that since he was like 20 in the league. Um, yeah, it's a guy he's found his fit and he's found his model that works for him. And getting to play with Patrick Kane and Clayton Keller your whole career is pretty slick. I'm gonna be honest. Like you got a pretty good playmaker to play with, and this Utah team's only gonna get better with guys like Genther, who's probably gonna hit 40 this year. You got
He's
Paterka for
so
the next couple of
fucking good,
years.
dude. Oh,
Yeah.
they're
And I
so
didn't even
good.
mention their best player, Logan Cooley. Like it's just, like it's a good spot to lock your hat for 8 years, and they got a good ownership group there with Ryan Smith, and it sounds like Utah is going to be a good home for them. So I'm very happy for Nick Schmaltz. I know we didn't mention that last show, but I'm very happy for him.
Yeah, this year he's gonna break his career high in points, which good for him. Has 60 points in 68 games. But yeah, model of consistency. Last year 63 points. Year before that 61 points. Year before that 58 points, and the year before that 59 points. 24 goals this year. Already his career high in goals. 20 goals last year. 22 goals. 22 goals. 23 goals. Just yeah, incredibly consistent since COVID has ended.
Yeah, and I think the only thing that's kind of plagued him a little bit is injuries, but at the same time, he's found a home, man. Can't be happier for a guy that really had an interesting go his first couple years in the league. I think that's like the peak of Stan Bowman being an idiot, but at the same time, he got bailed because Strom was a really good player.
Yeah,
Um,
really they kept him.
it's yeah. There was a time when there was a time when they probably should have locked him and to break it up 8 years at the same time, but you know, paths go a different way. Maybe there's a time they pick up to brink it in a couple years. By the way, he's on pace for a career high this year. He's having a great year. Wanted to shout him
The
out as well.
Brinket.
33 goals,
That's not
37
surprising.
I think he's got 33 and 37 right now, if I remember correctly. So, or 33 and 38. So, having a great year. Always like to see former Hawks succeed. So, good to see. Good to see. And I like
Never
to see them
will.
find a
Yeah,
home too after this because,
you're right.
you know,
33 goals, 36 assists, 69 points.
and he's got 2 points tonight. So, I think he's got 34 and 37 now. It's a damn
There
good
you
year
go.
for number 93, I think, for the Red Wings. And he found a home there too. Hometown team, I'm happy for him. Gets to play with Kaner and, Larkin and Raymond on the power play. Not a bad gig. Not a bad gig.
Nope, not at all. So $64 million contract. His last contract was 40.95. So yeah, he made over $100 million over his career. So
My goat.
good job by Kurt Overhart being his agent.
Where do you get the bag, bro? Where do you get the bag? Get excited.
Mm-hmm. And I believe the only playoff hockey he has played was in 2017. Didn't get to play in the bubble in 2020. So yeah, if Utah hangs on, makes it this year, which I think they will, that'll be his first playoff action in almost a decade, 9 years.
Good for. Hey, well, he played in the bubble technically.
No, he didn't. He was injured.
Oh, he was
You think
injured.
he
I didn't
was?
know that.
Yeah.
I thought he was playing. Oh,
Jamie, look that up. I gotta check my sources. Maybe I'll get
Jarvis,
fact checked by
show me this
myself.
guy's balls.
Croc, oil him up. Put him in a bikini.
Croc, Croc.
Yeah, only played 4 games in 2016-17.
Gee, I wonder what happened that year. Mm-hmm.
Well, they held on to everyone and they competed for another few years.
Also, shout out to Steve Dangle podcast. They were talking about that playoff run because they were talking about Nick Schmaltz's extension, and he was just like, "Well, that doesn't count. He was on the fourth line." Yeah, he was top line. He was playing
with
Taves,
with Jonathan Taves and Richard Panic.
You know, now I'm thinking about it, we should be used to like our top player playing with bums. Jonathan Taves played with fucking fourth liners for the last 5 years here. Like, let's not pretend like that didn't happen. Like,
it really
they've been
isn't
doing this
anything
forever.
new.
Patrick Kane was playing with David Camp at a center for like half a year. Like, they do this all the fucking time. So maybe it's not just like maybe it's not just Blashill and Richardson. Maybe this is just a fucking hockey thing. Ugh, ridiculous.
Unfortunately, I think it
playing
is.
with Drake Caggiula.
Yeah. Matthew Highmore. My hero in 2020.
My goat. But yeah. Do we have anything else to talk about? Sorry, I just hit a blank. But I'm happy for
Oh
Nick
no,
Schmaltz.
you're all good. Yeah, definitely. I don't know.
Also, Jack Reeves just won again. 23 wins on the year now.
There you go. Columbus is inching closer. I think they might have taken over a wild card spot now.
Yes, sir.
Oh, their game. Ooh, okay. So they just updated it. Columbus is in third in the Metro. Islanders are out of a playoff spot now.
That loss. So they just lost to Ottawa. Brady Tkachuk scored with 13 seconds left in the game.
Oh,
that's a huge loss.
We're getting to the point of the season where these games matter.
Yeah, that's a huge loss for the. That's a huge win for the Sens and a huge loss for the Islanders. So
yeah, because the Sens are fighting too. Like they've been like they're 7-2-1. I'm surprised there's all this stuff about Brady Tkachuk.
It's because he had his Dubois shift against the Capitals and everyone's losing their minds. Fine, it's fine. Lose your mind. We'll go trade you pick 5 for him. We'll just reverse the brinket, you guys.
Yeah, hopefully then we don't, or like, oh, we got to trade him now. We're going to get more than what we did, or whatever it was. And they got like a second and league for.
And then we're going to boo DeBrincat out of the building. Great job, guys. Anyways.
Yeah, I don't know. Are there any other teams that are standing out to you, whether that is good, whether that's bad?
I think that's it, honestly, on my end. I shout out teams that I wanted to shout out right now. Tampa might fall into one of those teams that's kind of faltering off a little bit, but very curious who's going to get that last wild card spot. Very curious to see how the Pacific shakes up, and I'm very curious to see how the entire Eastern Conference shakes up, because we could probably look at this in a week, and one of the division leaders might be different at that point. Like, that's how close it is right now. So, that's probably what I'm most anticipating right now. But like I said, you don't want to be a team that's playing Columbus round 1. You don't want to be a team that's playing Utah round 1. Like, these are some tough teams, and you got some top teams that are laboring a little bit. Although, give me the 2 teams meeting in the A gap. Give me Buffalo versus Columbus. I need it.
Oh, I love it. That would be cinema.
Love it.
Before we do another show, because we didn't bring it up last time, just want to say rest in peace to Troy Murray. And I grew up in Canada, so I didn't grow up in the States. I didn't get to listen to Troy Murray, so I don't know. You probably know him more, like could say more about him than I can.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard Troy Murray on my radio and my TV for my whole life, basically. I mean, him and John Weidman have been such a big part of like me listening. Like, there was a time in my life where I couldn't watch Hawks games because I was at school and I couldn't afford like the big package, and like pirating wasn't really where it was at the time. So I couldn't get the legal stream. So I would listen to the radio every game. And that was the year the Hawks won 50 games in 16-17. And I listened to Weideman and Murray and just like really fell in love with them. Cause like I would only really I really tried to watch a lot of the games. I wouldn't listen to the radio that much, but that year I had to listen to the radio a lot and really fell in love with their broadcast. They had such a great dynamic, and Troy was salt of the earth guy. Clearly, like you could tell everyone he talked to, he touched in some way, and great player, even better person, was a pivotal part in this organization. Like he always, the joke is when Taves gets retired, you got to put an asterisk on the 19 because he was, the best to wear 19 before JT showed up. So, part of that Clydesdale line with Olchek, and that's he's a big part of this organization, and he's been a big part for God nearly 40 years now. So, or was 40
He was
years. So,
drafted there in 1980s, so like almost half a century.
yeah. So, huge loss. It's a tough one, especially because he battled cancer for so long, fought it, came back. It makes you appreciate the times that he got back in the booth and was able to broadcast and able to go on the road and stuff. That's why I'm very appreciative that Eddie Olczyk's still in the booth doing it, because there was a time when I didn't think he was going to get back in the booth, and there was a time I thought
You
that would
never
Troy
know,
Murray as
man.
well. And
Yeah.
you just got to appreciate those moments. And I think the best thing was when his passing happened, everyone was just showing old radio calls of some of the best moments. And there's the Ben Smith overtime winner in game 6, the Seabrook overtime winner in game 7. Like, there's just so many good ones where Troy Murray is just like, he couldn't help but be a fan in that moment. And guy lived and breathed being a Blackhawk. So it's a huge loss, honestly. And haven't really had time to think about it like I have now. So I'm glad we took some time to talk about it, because he was a massive part of, I think a lot of fans and a lot of people who watch this team and listen to this team growing up, whether you're driving home or, like you're someone like me who doesn't live there and can afford to watch the games and whatnot. So, pivotal part of the organization, huge loss, and lived a great life. And my condolences to the Blackhawks and, his family and anyone, his friends and everyone of that. Lived a great life.
Yeah. Just looking over some of the seasons he had in the 80s with the Hawks, 1985, 86. So like he must have had a crazy 1985, because that year he had 19 points in 15 playoff games, and then the next year puts up 99 points in 80 games,
So
45 goals, 54 assists.
I don't know if you heard this, but Eddie Olczyk brought it up in the broadcast Tuesday. That's like a big joke line. It's the almost line for them, because he almost had 100. Olczyk almost had 80. And I forget who their third line mate was, but he almost had 70. So it was like everyone missed it
Yeah.
by 1 point that year. It was like, man, if we all could have just banged in one more goal, Murray would have had 100. He would have had 80, or
Yeah.
Olczyk would have had 80 points. So it was a fun little anecdote they were talking about on the TNT broadcast on Tuesday. So it's funny you mentioned that.
Did not know this. Won a Selkie in 1986, and then won the cup with Colorado in 1996. So,
Mhm.
man, what a life! Like, get to play with the Blackhawks in the 80s, and then you go on and win a Stanley Cup, and then now you got to call games for the team you were drafted by. I got to call 3 Stanley Cups. Awesome life.
Hell of a life.
Yeah, that's all we got. Yeah, it's been a tough year because Glenn Hall. I don't know if we talked about Glenn Hall dying too. Like, just 2 like Blackhawks legends, unfortunately passing. But yeah, legends regardless.
Been losing a lot of
Yeah. Do you have
greats
anything?
lately, but I was just they've been losing a lot of greats lately, and it kind of makes you or appreciative that they're doing this 100th anniversary ceremony this year, because you get to really showcase a lot of these guys that maybe some people haven't been able to see before. And it just makes you appreciative that they're really trying to get guys like Savard and Chelios and Keith and Seabrook have taken a huge part back in the organization and whatnot. Like, they're really trying to be good with their alumni, and that's something the Hawks have always done a great job with, which I always loved.
Yeah. Any closing thoughts, or we can wrap this up? We're almost at 2 hours. I think there's like 7 or 6 minutes left in the game. They're still up 2-1, but I don't know if they're gonna hang on to that.
Ryan Green to the tunnel.
Oh, well,
Spider-Man
that's
jumping
not
off the
good.
building meme. Ryan Green down.
I have to ask, how was did they drop the whole season of Invincible, or was it just a few episodes?
Just the first 3 episodes, but so far so
Oh,
good for
okay, so
season
kind of like The
4.
Boys, where they'll like
Yeah,
drop
so
like a
the
few and
Amazon, I
then
love that
keep dropping
Amazon does
them.
that. Yeah, they drop the
Yeah.
first 3 and then it's weekly after that. I think Disney Plus is doing that for Daredevil too, but Invincible I think is like my favorite show of the decade. Like, I love Succession, but I just season 1, episode 1, that thing has had me. There hasn't been a show that has me gripped to the point that I read the whole comic after the first season. You know what I mean? Like, and I've read the comic 3 times now, but it's just like another graphic novel in
Ryan
that
Reed's
case.
back.
Get excited.
Suicide postponed,
Suicide
not today, old
postponed.
friend.
But yeah, I just feel like every season gets better, and like I know what's coming, and I remember telling people, like I still tell people that like are, well, the animation's not as good as it can be, and I agree with that. But at the same time, I know what the show is, and like I'd rather the voice actors be so good, and I know the writing's good, and they're changing all the stuff that I really didn't like with the comic or that's extremely outdated with the comic, and if anything, making the show better. So, kind of like what they did with the boys, like the boys comic material, like the difference is Invincible source material is light years better than the boys source material because the boys comic sucks in my opinion.
It was
Like
just
the show
gory
is
and gore,
way better
like
than the
being edgy
comics.
for the sake of being edgy. Yeah, from
Exactly.
what I gather.
Yes. And I don't know, man. Like this second episode of the new season, it was, I think was probably top. I said top 10 of ever in the show, but then I was thinking about it and I was like, well, they've only been like, so many episodes, but like it's up there. It's one of the better episodes of the show if I had to think about it.
Yeah, I'm excited for the boys in a couple weeks. I still gotta watch Gen V. I do have the weekend off, so I'll try to
Oh man,
watch
I
as much
forgot
as
how
I
good Gen
can.
V was this season. Oh my gosh. Yeah, you're in for a treat. I remember watching it all when it came out, and I was just like, "Whole like, it's time right into season 5." So it's gonna be nuts. You want to get nuts?
Nutter Butters even. Yeah, like invested so much into The Sopranos. I'm like, I need a break from watching any TV shows before I jump in anything. But yeah, this
Sorry
weekend
guys,
seems
watch
like
Peak.
the
Had to go on break real quick.
yeah. I don't know if anything's gonna top The Sopranos, man. It was so fucking good. Like it lived up to every expectation and succeeded at. I watched Breaking Bad during COVID, and I was like, I watch Sopranos next. I'm like, yeah, I'll save that for another time, and I'm glad I did.
Hell yeah,
Kept that in my
dude!
back pocket.
All time show.
Yeah,
All
peak.
time show.
Yeah. All right. Thank you all for tuning in. Be sure to give us a 5-star rating on your preferred podcast platform, whether you are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google, Amazon, blah, 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 blah. If you're watching our beautiful faces on YouTube, be sure to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button and notifications so you don't miss out on any new content, whether that is podcast or clips from the show. So for Pierce and Dylan, take it easy, y'all. We'll talk another time. And hopefully, by the time you're listening to this, the Hawks can somehow pull it a win against the Wild. Peace.